Thessalonians chapter 5 in verse 6. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone that do well and teach well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect out there. Yummy brother to Zaywan from the Great Millstone Church here in Birmingham, Alabama. And call out Yahweh Shai, the spirit jumped on me, just a quick little hit, you know, just basically reminding you, continue to watch, man. You know, continue to watch, you know, because it's a lot of things going on, you know, and the scripture says when the Lord comes, he's coming like a thief in the night, man. So we got to continue to stay on our watch, man, you know, because we're seeing the Lord's return, and it's near. You know, all the signs that he told us to look out for, you know, we see in real time. You know, we see in the earthquakes in diverse places. You know, the wars and the rumors of wars. You know, the pestilence, the famines. You know, all the different food shortages. You know, all the signs that the Lord told us to look out for before his return, man. You know, everything is playing out, man, in real time. You know, so we're not to go to sleep, you know, and go back into the world, you know, and be caught up with the affairs of this life, as the scripture tells us not to. You know, the scripture said, be not entangled with the affairs of this life, you know, because salvation is near, man. You know, our salvation is nearer than when we had believed, man. You know, and we got to continue to watch, you know, and continue to blow the trumpet, man. You know, continue to warn the people, man. You know, the Lord, Yahweh Shai is about to return, man. You know, you're seeing everything going on over there in Israel, you know, seeing that between Israel and Iran. You know, we're seeing the wars and the rumors of wars again, you know, where it's only going to intensify to where something big is on the horizon. Okay, it's going to be a mass casualty event, you know, that's going to shake, you know, the globe, man. Okay, that's why we got to continue to watch, man. You know, so that day don't overtake us like a thief. You know, so yeah, man. You know, again, this is First Thessalonians chapter 5 in verse 6. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. All right. You know, 2/3 of our people, man, sleep, man. They don't know what the fuck going on. You know, these niggas are what they call goddamn sleepwalking. You know, spiritually. You know, they just sleepwalking, man. You know, to where it's like, hey, bro, it's good with it. You know, to it's like, you know, when that dreadful day come, man, when all hell break loose, man, niggas is gonna be fucked up out here, man. They're gonna be like a chicken with their head cut off, man. Okay, when the storehouse is suddenly found empty, you know, when the power go out, you know, because it's coming, man. You know, if you're paying attention to everything that's going on in the world, man, you know, it's coming, man. The Lord is finna really fuck this place up, man. You know, you can expect to see more tornadoes and hurricanes, floods. You know, a lot of people was unalive in these floods. You know, they're expecting a severe hurricane season. You know, so that's why we got to continue to watch, man. You know, watch for the prophecies. All right, real quick. It's like this is it's like this is First Peter chapter 4 and verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. That's right, man. We gotta constantly watch and pray, man. You know, and I'm not talking about watching TV. or watching the NBA finals or no shit like that, man. We're supposed to be watching for the prophecies. You got Jake out here still watching the Diddy trial. Niggas glued to the TV, watching that shit while all hell is finna break loose, man. You got goddamn Israel getting them things dropped on their ass, man. Okay? Well, that's finna lead to World War III, man. The scriptures say the second war is past, the third war coming quickly. So like weirdo. Yeah, man. It's finna get real serious out here, man. So we gotta continue, to watch and pray, man. That the Lord deliver us from these evil times, man. Don't go to sleep. What was that song on A Nightmare on Elm Street? 9, 10, never sleep again. You better wake up, goddamn. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. Man, it's time to wake the fuck up, man. And watch, man. Get on your watch, man, because shit is finna hit the heck. Shit is finna hit the fan, man. It's finna go down, man. I'm looking at a tag and say, why so serious? Hey, a little sticker that say, why so serious? Because we're going into some serious times. Shit. We're going into the worst times ever in human history, man. So that's why we should constantly be watching, man. Measuring the times, as the scriptures say, measure that time diligently. How do you measure the time? By the way of the prophecies. Okay? And I mean, the prophecies is jumping off the pages like popcorn, man. So don't go to sleep, man. Just want to remind brothers, man, to stay on your watch. Continue to watch, man. Oh, man, the spirit. 222, the tag. Yeah, man. We should continue to watch, man. For shit, again, man. It's gonna get serious out here, man. And that tag, that sticker said, why so serious? Because it's finna get fucking serious, man. Again, when the power go out, these stores is empty. It's gonna be more protests. We talking it on, these No King protests over the weekend. These are the things we should be watching for, man. Because all this is a sign of the Lord's return, man. Okay, this is a sign of who he calls Jesus' return. Okay, whose true name is Yahweh Shai. The Lord is about to return, man. Okay, but before he returns, what's good, Playboy?
How you doing, Play?
You got it. Before the Lord's return, man, you got to have the time of Jacob's trouble, and you got to have the implementation of the MOTB, the Quran. Okay? All right, now what's good with you, bro?
Damn. It's hot.
Oh, yeah.
Right
Yeah. That's a lot. Yeah, man. Just got to continue to watch, man. Scripture speak in that Matthew, the 24th chapter. It's going to be wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places, but the end is not yet, roughly paraphrasing. You still got to have the implementation of the MOTB, the Quran, man. Okay, that RFID micro C hip. Okay, so we just got to continue to watch, man. Because, hey, man, that C hip is on the way, Jack. It's on the way, man. It's June. Continue to watch, man, for the prophecies, man. All right, when you see that RFID micro C hip made mandatory, hey, man, that's when you know the Lord is going to come deliver us. Oh, yeah, man. Get on up out of here. It's a lot. Just got to continue to watch. That C hip made mandatory. You don't know, man. That our salvation, draw nigh, man. Okay? So, yeah, man. Lord willing, this video is edifying. All glory, honor, and give praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Chakadash, and all honor to the apostles and elders and great ministers, who teach well, Peace, love, and salutations to the whole big gun to the entire Shalom.